How we doing, everybody? It's if you're watching this live, it's the 17th, but technically in the wibbly wobbly timey wimey of things, it's the 18th. I technically could have said that if we started the show an hour later, but for obvious reasons, we're not. Um, so yes, time for a hangout chat, whatever the hell, shindig with myself, Owen, and AJ. As I guess we can no longer kneel before Zod unless it's Michael Shannon.
I was thinking about it when the news broke, and he had a lot of amazing roles. I don't even know if I'd realized how many amazing roles he had.
The one that my mum always said, like, try and see it if you can, and it took forever for it to come out on. I don't even know if it came out on DVD. It might have been one of those ones that kind of jumped straight from VHS to Blu ray. But, like, one of his first ones, or one of his first big ones, which was The Collector
Yeah,
from 65. That's before sort of arguably he probably came onto most people's radars with the double bill of Poor Cow and Far From Madding Crowd a couple of years later, but
actually, the collector's my go-to. Also, I actually have it right here. Yeah, like I was thinking about it, and like a top five came to mind like instantly with the collector, and then the Limey, and the Hit, and Priscilla, and Spirits of the Dead. Like just all came to mind at once. And that's like there's still plenty that he's more known for.
yet alone, I guess, what a be what are technically considered his last release, even though it's a remaster. But the remaster this year of Elder Scrolls Oblivion. He's one of I think significant NPCs that you can do quests with and everything with that. Um, and I still remember him in Last Night in Soho because, again, that's sort of probably a bucket list thing for Edgar Wright. Like I've got Terrence Stamp in my movie.
It didn't even occur to me that would have been his last role.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that film, it would have been the first murder mystery.
Thank God for Edgar Wright. I mean,
Well, at
I don't,
least in
I don't,
terms of movies, I think he had a one appearance in one of the episodes of, like, I can't remember if it was series 1 or 2 of the TV version of his Dark Materials. I can't
that
remember.
that that comment might sound a little misleading because I don't hate murder mystery and I don't love Last Night in Soho, but I like that he got to go out stylishly.
Yeah,
Is I guess what I
the fact that he's credited as well in that as just the silver-haired gentleman as well.
meant.
It's like, yeah, sounds about right. Yes. Go for a little bit of the stuff in chat from Brian Josie
Hey,
Surgical.
before you get started, those of you live in chat, you noticed I've been a little bit AWOL lately. I ain't gonna say anything. I'm just gonna say that it's gonna be a fun award season. I can tell already it's gonna be a fun award season, and we've got something coming up on a very special day for many reasons that is going to involve four of us and another way to do something we haven't done on this channel before. So that's going to be something that's going to be a blast to be a part of. I'm looking forward to it. And as it pertains to Terrence Stamp, there's obviously only one answer. If it's me, he's Siegfried from Get Smart. Come on.
I mean, that is fun. Nah, that is very fair.
For me, that'd be the right answer, though. AJ would 100% understand why I'm saying that. I waited forever for that movie to come out. Thank you.
I also I also just like to shout out Bowfinger when I get the chance, so this is another opportunity to do that as well. When he's the head of not Scientology in Bowfinger.
Trust us, it's not Scientology. For legal reasons. So yeah, Bryce saying not very good evening. I was supposed to go to a MLB Little League Classic as I got tickets through a lottery drawing, but I got screwed over. Oh, sorry to hear that, bro. At least
I
it's
know
a
the feeling, Brian.
Josie was saying, today is the 17th, not the 18th, but that's where I clarified it. Bryce and the last 2000s Oscar movies I've seen since the last Popcast are 2 out of the 3 of the Denis Arcon trilogy, specifically for Barbarian Invasions, but wasn't able to find Days of Darkness from 2007. Not the horror movie. I'm guessing that's Days of Darkness. Maybe.
I didn't know that, or if there was some crossing of wires with Barbarian and Barbarian Invasions, which are 2 totally different movies.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Le'Veon Rose, Tots. I think it's Totsi, isn't it?
It's Totsy.
Yeah. Before Night Falls and In the Valley of Elah. The problem with that is, every time I hear In the Valley of Elah, I don't think of in the actual film. I just think of bloody. It's fitting because Silence of the Lambs is on right now, but I just think of Manhunter and Inagada Davida. Because I think that's half the time what it is. In the Valley of Elah, baby. Tommy Lee Jones is coming down. Josie's last watches since last time: Death Trap, The Bloody Lady, Shadow of a Doubt, which is the. I want to specify with that one the 1943 one because I feel like there's been a fair few Shadow of a Doubts. Terror in a Texas Town, From Noon Till 3. Is that like a knockoff? I was going to say it's from 76. I was going to say that just feels like it's an asylum version of From Dusk Till Dawn, except we just run out of time. 40 Guns.
Would that?
So go ahead.
Would that have been Josie's first viewing of Shadow of a Doubt?
I mean, it says, new watches, so it seems like it. The early Hitchcock. You know it's early because only in the 40s would you have somebody by the name of Thornton Wilder. How English is that a name? And the irony is he's probably American. And then the others, 40 Guns and The Paper from 1994, which will get confused on people's letterbox when that blooming Office spin-off of the same name comes out in a few weeks. Bri will be taking this weekend and next weekend off of watching any more films because of more of the Little Leagues. Oh, Josie's got even more. Oh no. The First Universal Soldier. Tamala 2010, A Punk Cat in Space. What a title. Pedicab Driver. Silence of the Sea. Day of the Jackal. Peter Ibbotson and the Boys from Brazil. American Ninja. Oh, there we go. And Man's Castle. It says a lot that, because Josie says thoughts on the aforementioned, it says a lot that I honestly can't pick between Day of the Jackal and the Jackal. as like which actually is actually any good. Probably a segue to a versus if it's already happened. um, but like I appreciate the '70s one being very sort of more you like traditional spy stuff, and then because it's the '90s one and it's Bruce Willis, of course we made it into an action thing. But they actually aren't too bad. Well, I should say the Jackal isn't too bad. Day of the Jackal I'll always like just because of the intrigue, and that's where I found out Michael Lonsdale wasn't just a Bond villain.
Yeah.
He can
I
do
was
other stuff as well.
I saw Willis's at kind of a young age and remember being a little bit traumatized by Jack Black's death scene. That may have been before I even knew who Jack Black was.
Yeah, that would have, because that would have been a few years before Orange County, right?
Yeah, I think the Jackal was 97. Orange County would have been like 2002, maybe.
I always feel that was like late '90s, sort of like uh, almost famous sort of time. But I think that also was like early 2000.
Well, Almost Famous is exactly 2000.
Yeah. Let me quickly check. Where is it? There's Jack Black. I was trying to see where it was in Jack Black's filmography. Like, oh,
Probably just before High Fidelity. High Fidelity, I think, was 2000 also.
God. So,
The year after the Cable Guy, it would have
so
been.
yeah. So it was before Mars Attacks, The Fan, The Cable Guy, Dead Man Walking, and Waterworld, and Neverending Story 3, which I never knew existed. So,
I don't think I've still ever been able to spot him in Demolition Man. Apparently, he's one of the scraps with Dennis Leary at Taco Bell, but I don't think I've ever found him. That's a really weird sentence out of context.
yeah. And I always forget that he was in the very first Ice Age and then never used again.
Yeah.
He was part of the franchise, and then Kung Fu Panda was like, "No, come over to us." Josie's asking you, AJ, your favorite Ira Levin adaptation. I
Would
guess to
have
tie
to
into
be.
obviously Boys of Brazil.
Am I mistaken, or is that the Rosemary's Baby author?
Mm-hmm. Rosemary's
I
Baby,
mean,
Stepford Wives, Sliver. Oh dear. I don't think whether it's that same Sliver. In which case, dear Lord, that was a quick turnaround,
I
wasn't it? Yeah, 2 years from when the book came out to when they adapted it. Bloody hell.
I'm obviously gonna say Rosemary's Baby, but I feel I've been meaning to rewatch The Stepford Wives for a very long time, and I still haven't. But I'm really curious how I feel because I think that was another one where I was like way too young to appreciate it when I first saw it. I remember thinking it was way too slow, but I was also like 12, so I definitely would want to check that out again.
Finished reading Heartbeat Library by Laura M.I. Messina. Excellent heartfelt novel. I'm sorry I don't have that much off the top of my head to discuss today, given I didn't prepare a game and didn't know till today that we were doing a show. Well, schedules and everything. We're hoping you're going to have fun with what we have cooking for the next couple of months worth of stuff.
I've also already been working on October stuff. That's why I haven't slept. Uh, and it's kind of exciting how things are coming together. Hopefully, people feel the same way.
The great thing is, the thing that we're not talking about, but you'll find out in a couple of weeks what we're doing. I have finally formatted it, but it's gone so long in the past couple of days that I've forgotten what I formatted, and I purposefully have sort of oblique, not oblique, what the uncovered up what happened in said thing. So it'll be kind of a mystery to me, only that something nagging in the back of my head, like saying part of it could be, I guess, appropriate for the time of bloodbath, and that's the only tease that you're getting, probably. Unless I do an Iron Mouse and just literally splurt it out by accident, and then, well, great. There goes the mystery. Some Boys from Brazil's trivia. That's one that, before, I do want to talk about that, because, like, I feel like, at least over here, that's sort of, maybe just because of the production company it was released for, it's more of a TV movie. I don't think it was, because, I mean, certainly Oscars didn't recognize it as a TV movie. It's just, every time I've seen the release, oh, that's why. It's basically, in the UK, its distribution is basically through television companies. That probably makes sense.
When I hear it, the first thing I see is Peck, but it was Olivier that was nominated for it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always been interesting to me.
And then also the sort of random James Mason sighting as well. Oh no, not him. Bloody Steve Gutenberg before. Was that
Yeah,
right before Police Academy? Or no, it would have been the same year, right? Probably.
I think Police Academy is like 80 or 81. Wasn't it
Because
Brazil is, wasn't it? Was it not 70s?
78,
Police,
yeah. Very
Police
late
Academy is
70s, so.
84.
84. Oh wow, I was off.
Oh, but he was credited as Steven Gutenberg, so that's why we wouldn't have known who he was. Where is he? Steven!
I was listening to David Spade on Conan's podcast, and it's always funny when he talks about his first movie. He's casually like, "Yeah, my first movie, I played like a skateboarder," and I was like, "Say what it? Just say it. Just say it's Police Academy." I remember when I was watching the Police Academy movies, and Owen, you had hyped up Police Academy 4 specifically so much.
Yes. I love the Police Academy movies.
They're like, I was like, when I went into them, I was like, all right, let's see what this disaster of a series is everybody talks about. But it was like, wow, I'm really having fun with this actually. Even the one where they go to the fucking beach was really the one with like the circus villains or whatever they were was kind of that was when it was kind of over.
Mm.
But like 1 through 5 is like a really fun time.
I love the Police Academy series. It's something that I'm glad happened because it's something that I very much remember very vividly from childhood, and I don't want it to ever come back around again because I don't think they ever could have that type of movie ever again.
You say that, and only one
Naked
director.
Gun.
I was gonna say only one director comes to mind, and it. Yep.
Oh, man. Actually, no. It might as well just like make it, just have like everything go in the circle it belongs in. Have Bobcat direct it.
That'd be a dark Police Academy movie.
We haven't had one yet.
I was gonna say I'm actually down for that. I think.
It does feel like, if anything's gonna happen and, like, be a gritty reboot, they try and do it for Police Academy.
Not to mention a dark cop comedy would be especially interesting today.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be, I yeah, they could touch on interesting thing.
So obviously you don't know how much you can trust on Wikipedia because absolutely anyone can edit Wikipedia. I know, I've done it before. Needless to say, Steve Gutenberg did say in 2018 that there was a planned police academy coming, but it's stuck in developmental hell right now.
I wonder whether with the, I mean, Naked Gun wasn't the same thing, but it makes you wonder because they are both Paramount, right?
It's New Line.
Oh, it was Warner Brothers, right? I can't remember. So if it's Warner Brothers, it's buggered.
God, I'm reading all this
I
stuff
don't know
they
what the
did.
hell Warner Brothers is doing right now, but there we go.
They were doing this was all the way back in 2010 that they were trying to get this off the ground. Bobcat himself said that they needed a new police academy with a new group of actors instead of the original cast. But they wanted Gutenberg back.
You know, if Warner
Michael,
Brothers is like, hey, you know, the film's doing well in the box office. Let's try and get more money to people see it in cinemas. Oh wait, no, let's just stick it on streaming after 3 weeks.
as long as I get Michael Stuhlbarg a Sweet Chuck, I'm good.
Yeah, if that's what they're willing to do for Superman and just stick it on streaming that quick, God knows what else is going to happen with that company at bloody Warner Brothers. I wonder whether Zaslav's trying to make it look bad so then it's cheaper for somebody to buy off him. At this rate.
As far as the Superman thing, I had heard that I guess Gunn really wanted people to have access to Superman before Peacemaker. And I don't know if the decision had already been made and that's how he kind of rationalized it, or if it was like his call. I didn't hear specifically.
The fascinating thing will be if Superman's barely referenced at all in the series, it's going to be like, so why bring it up? It was only a passing sort of reference in the in the Superman movie itself. So who knows? Right, some Boys from Brazil trivia. Gregory Peck was upset by the negative reactions to his performance, later saying, quote, I felt Olivier felt and friends of mine like Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon felt that I was good in the part. I mean, he's a good villain. Although some of the times, whether it's just because of the way he's trying to play Mengele, you know, in that it sort of, he hams it up a little bit, but
That's kind of what I was getting at, where I was like, Peck is like who I think of when I think of that movie. That's gotta account for
yeah,
something.
that and the dogs. Josie says the award season going to be the best one yet. Can't wait to do pairings.
Josie, I'll say right now, I think we brought this up like ad nauseum on this channel, and I'm going to continue to do so because it's just obvious. This has been a fantastic year for movies, and we're not even over with August yet. So many.
What were you saying?
I was going to finish with the thing I normally say. So many times weekly, I have things that are battling for my top list because this year's been so great.
Yeah, I'm really stingy with giving. I don't want this to sound like pretentious or anything, but just for me personally, I'm really stingy with giving out like perfect scores. The fact that people don't know this yet because the video is not out yet, but the fact that we're in mid-August and I've given out two, it's like usually I'm giving them out like in November and December and maybe January when the award season's still carrying over. But yeah, two like within the summer is insane. I don't know the last time I ever did anything like that and felt that way about certain movies.
And spoilers, one of them
One
is for
one is
Ice Cube's
one,
War of the World.
but one of those is unmarked because it was by itself, but the first one's The Life of Chuck,
Hmm.
and the other one's the one that's about to go out. Oh, and you do have those, don't you?
That video is already online.
Okay, good.
No, it's not good. Knowing what I know now, I'm even more upset that I missed it.
I mean, with any luck, it'd be nice if it came back around, but I don't know if it's too off the radar.
I could say that about the best movie of the year right now,
Yeah, I don't
which
know.
also has yet to be reviewed on this channel.
I still don't know where the hell the talk for that movie is, but I think it's still in like what I guess you'd call it digital purgatory, where where it's like it's not doing like it's not the kind of movie that would do big on digital either. It's gonna need a streamer to get people to talk about it.
There is right now it can be watched via digital, but you have to pay for it. It's one of those. Which, if anything, does not need to be one of those right now. It's this movie.
Yeah, it's like it needs like a Netflix or a Max or whatever it's gonna be, and for people to have access to it since its theatrical run was so fucking short too. This could everything I just said could be said about the Life of Chuck as well.
I find it crazy that,
A
like,
lot of independent films this year.
go ahead.
No, like I said, everything you said could be said about a lot of independent movies this year.
Hmm.
I feel like by the way, I feel like every time we talk about this movie, we're super cryptic about it. It's Bob Trevino likes it, is what we're talking about.
I like being cryptic about it. It's fun. What am I talking about?
It's weird that sort of we're coming up at least to the bank holidays, so at least over here. So the equivalent of, I guess, your Monday holidays and things like that sort of thing, your Labor Days and everything.
Yeah, I
And
get paid for those things.
so obviously that's usually when you're gonna have families going to the cinema because everybody's off, sort of thing, for an extra day. But the only offerings majorly to my cinemas this week are Life of Chuck, Eddington, Thursday Murder Club, which will be semi-limited because Netflix. They're re-releasing Six the Musical, which could be the biggest release, and that's it.
Are we even are we even getting a theatrical run for Thursday Murder Club over here?
No.
Or is it just straight to Netflix here?
As far as I know, it's straight to Netflix.
It might woo. It might be sort of getting the limited releases in case they do want to submit it for Oscars and whatever. So probably
Yeah.
the handful in New York and LA, like it has to be.
Yeah, Owen and I were just talking about this the other day, where it's like it's getting really blurry to me as to what's going to be awards eligible when it comes to what goes streaming. I can't keep track anymore of when something has like a really, really tiny limited run when it's like mainly streaming
Right.
and which ones are which. The nominees for TV movie at the Emmys really threw me off with that.
Oh, I never looked at that.
Like so this is as far as any of these are awards eligible then, to my understanding. Like Zellweger wouldn't get a Globe nomination for Bridget Jones or something like that. It's a straight up TV movie. I don't know, but I don't know where the line is anymore. Zellweger was just an example. I don't know that would have actually happened one way or the other, but just
Sure.
as an example of I don't know what is where.
I'm trying to see. I'm guessing it includes the text, so that's why it's not listed. Because I don't see. I see like the acting in sort of limited or anthology series or TV movie, but they don't actually have a TV movie category.
because it's like I was telling Owen, where it's like this may sound like hyperbole, but for real, like Nona's could have been another My Big Fat Greek Wedding if it was a theatrical release, or it was a theatrical release at a certain time, like a certain decade. But
Sure.
yeah, to think of a movie that feels like it could have been that big, just being straight to streaming is like, it's great that so many people saw it, but that used to be a
Oh,
different
there
thing.
we go. Yeah, it's stuck in the creative arts section.
You are 100% talking about the trajectory of Wake Up Dead Man at this rate. Just as long as I get that one weekend where I can watch it in a theater, I don't care.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, didn't the really, really tiny window for Glass Onion do well?
Oh my god, it was a packed theater.
And it's equally crazy when you know how well Knives Out did as a theatrical release.
Also a packed theater.
Like I actually keep forgetting that Knives Out was a legit release, and it was Glass Onion when they went the Netflix route. It's kind of a weird call in retrospect, isn't it? Like Knives Out proved that the theatrical success was there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny, and I think we've talked about this before, and because we like to go off on tangents here, because that's what we do on these shows, we don't have a script. AJ, you know that lately I have been doing, because we haven't had our normal conversation yet this week, so we have, but have had more to talk about after that for reasons. I will say that I was able to do my movies this week, and once again, when I walked out of the theater, there was someone standing there getting ready to take a shot to hand me a card. So I got to do another. This was a weird survey because I've only done these ones a couple times. Remember when I did the one for Infinity Pool?
Yeah.
This was the same company that did those. So the ones I've done for like Eddington and things like that, those have been internet surveys. I log in with a QR code and I get a chance to win either a guaranteed $10 or a chance of $50. I wasn't going to get $10 or $50. I always take the chance. Never win, don't care. I just want to give my opinion on movies, especially since it's fresh in my mind. These, on the other hand, were. It's hard to explain. There is a card that they give you, and you peel back the answer. Kind of like bingo pullums, but backwards. So you basically just fold your answer, and the rest of them stay like, how old are you? What is your sex? And what is the reason you came to see this movie? And it gives you options and everything. And that's all it asks. It doesn't ask like a lot of questions like Addington and everything like else did. But no, it's just like we just want a snap answer to what we thought of the movie that I got to watch on Friday that I don't know what kind of a buzz it's getting right now, but I definitely can see a world we live in where it could potentially get Spirit Award nominations, but we'll see.
Which one are we talking about?
Talking about Americana.
Oh, right.
Right.
I know it's kind of in vogue to hate Sydney Sweeney right now.
I'm fearing that's what the survey was just about.
No, it really
It
wasn't.
was trying to see whether that audience is watching because apparently, you've got to watch her and not Taylor Swift or whatever.
Hey now.
That's we're opening up a can of worms here, but it's like that being her being their new obsession is
Yeah.
All I say right now to getting away from any of this political garbage that I have no knowledge of and I have no claim to knowledge of. Don't bring Taylor into this. We'll talk about her later. Can't wait for the new album. Anyway, the thing, it gives me something to smile about for a change. So, no, Paul Walter Hauser is having a damn great year. And I don't really care what the context of the rest of the movies could possibly be. I've enjoyed everything he's done this year. Not necessarily enjoyed the movie, but enjoyed his performance in these movies. And he's great in it. He really is.
I assume that was a dig at Fantastic Four just now.
You damn right it was. I mean,
Which I was a fan of before we get attacked, by the way.
Of course. And I'm used to taking heat right now. I get it all the time in all ways, shape, and form. But I will say that, like, Luckiest Man in America in another year that wasn't so packed would be a performance that is award worthy. Very much so.
The Spirit Awards still have a chance to shout him out, I think.
Oh, I have no doubt in my mind he's getting a nomination for the Spirit Award. I hope it goes for that.
We always say what we think is something that would show up at the Spirit Awards, and the Spirit Awards always do weird shit, but yeah. We can hope.
But I liked Americana. And I a lot, actually. So
I mean, like I said, Hauser said it's like the best script he's ever read, or one of the best scripts he's ever read, and we've seen the script he's read.
Is your local area, Owen, getting the next Spike Lee joint? Because I know that.
So that's funny. That's funny you mention that.
Oh.
Funny you mention highest to lowest, because my theaters aren't getting it, but the indie theater that I go to for the Oscars shorts is getting it.
Okay.
But I'm waiting to see if I'm going to have to go across town to see it or not, if try to get it in before Horror Nights, but I don't know if I'll be able to make it work or not for my schedule. I mean, I have a completely free work schedule right now, but it's difficult to get over there to try to make it work timing-wise. But it's something that's on my radar. I just don't know if I'm going to get a chance to see it or not. They haven't got their bookings for this week yet, so maybe they'll throw one at me. I mean, they've been throwing a lot of weird stuff at me lately when it comes to releases, like movies that I know are going to last one day in the theater, and movies that are going to have a very niche audience, and they're going to be gone like Americana's going to be gone soon, sadly. But I mean, it's just how it is. There's too many movies now, and then everybody's making something, and then there's all the movies, like the different foreign films that just get a week, or maybe the documentary that just gets a week and everything. And like, I only got 4 movies to watch. I got to make it count. So it just, sometimes I choose correct and miss things that don't matter. Sometimes we have a past lives situation. But I still got a theatrical viewing of that movie. So that's all that matters.
I only bring it up because that's similar to sort of Thursday Murder Club, at least in terms of UK release, and that it's getting limited theatrical run before the stream dump, as I always call
Highest to lowest is in an indie theater, but Thursday Murder Club is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, no,
That's another one.
It's probably just a UK release because they, Richard Osman's book and the series of books is highly well regarded, so.
That falls into the known-as category also, where it's like there was a time where a movie like Thursday Murder Club would kill in theaters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The fact as well that also alongside On Us is the well, quote unquote final Bridget Jones movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which, considering how, I don't know how at least it did over in America, the Freaky Friday sequel, but it felt like that would have been something that would have been relatively popular, especially around Valentine's Day, being an option
it's doing
for people
pretty
to
well
see.
here.
I think Freaky Friday's technically doing well. It's just Weapons is really overshadowing it. but it's doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Freakier Friday's either top three, or it might be number two right now, because Weapons obviously had and shoulders above everything else, as
The
he should.
it might have changed. The last I saw, Nobody was number 3, which makes me assume Freaky Friday was number 2.
That sounds right.
I don't know if that's changed since then, but that's what I last saw.
Well, it's Sunday, so that's generally the last day of the week, obviously for the film box office. So it's kind of like that would make sense. That
I say this might have been yesterday I saw that, but I honestly don't remember. The days are blending together.
I'll quickly check Variety because I'm pretty sure they had something about had a Weapons had a 43% drop from week 1 to 2, which for horror is actually pretty good.
I don't want this to like go down and like bitter old person path or anything, and it's a complaint that's been done to death for probably 2 decades at this point. But last month or so, I was going through all of the top 10 box office for all the years, like back in the 80s and 90s. And it's like, those lists are so much more interesting. Like, it was so much more eclectic. And it was like, holy shit, that was really successful. That's interesting. Like, there was a point in the 90s where courtroom dramas were like top 10 at the box office. And it's like, now that we're kind of in this takeover, I think far and away the only original movie in the top 10 right now is Sinners, right? And honestly, and it's like, I'm glad, good stuff is in there. Like, I love Superman, really. But it's like, and you say like, oh, Minecraft and what that audience is, and it's like whatever, and Lilo and Stitch is just another Disney remake, whatever. The movie that's got me really perturbed when I look at and once again, we know that box office has not meant quality in a very long time.
Oh God, no.
That's what I was saying with like the at least 2 decades thing. But I mean, seeing Jurassic World in there just really pisses me off. Because it really feels like the Jurassic World movies only make money by default. Because they have, I know this one's like I think the lowest. It'll be like the first one that doesn't break $1 billion or something. But of like the worlds. But I don't know, it just annoys me that something so, and I'm not saying Rebirth is like a terrible, dreadful movie or anything like Dominion was, but I just really miss that era where we had like really interesting and original stuff, was like the stuff that was really popular. And like I said, I realize I'm saying something that's been said for like 20 years now, but it's just, it was so interesting because everybody says, oh, there's no more original movies. Hollywood is sequel obsessed and franchise obsessed and remake obsessed and all that. Owen and I were going through the movies coming out this year and that have come out this year, and we were trying to figure out, because we're gearing up to do predictions next week.
Yes.
So we were separating what's original and what's adapted as far as screenplay goes. The original list is so much longer. It's like 4 times the size of the adapted list. And it's like the stuff is there, and it drives me fucking crazy that we're still stuck on and it's because they're the successful movies that people think franchises and remakes are the only thing that exist. And they're not willing to step out of that. By the way, these will be the same people that go to all these sequels and remakes. But it's like, original movies are insane right now if you actually look for them. There's an insanely long list of them. And we were even saying there's stuff that we're super, super psyched about that is technically adapted, like Wake Up Dead Man. But the thing about it is, even though Knives Out is a franchise now, each one still feels like an original movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't even really count that. honestly. Um, so it's like I've already like you're not supposed to do this. I've already convinced myself Wake Up Deadman's gonna be great. Because I know Glass Onion was weirdly divisive in some places, but I think for the most part it was quite well liked.
Mm.
Mhm.
I was obsessed. I was obsessed with Glass Onion when it came out. I've seen Glass Onion like 7 times. I love it, and so it's like, and that I love Knives Out as much as I do. It's like Wake Up Deadman's gonna be great. I've already basically decided. But I don't know where I'm going right. This is like I guess this is a tired haze of things are just flying out of my mouth. I don't know if any of these are actual conversations,
Somehow I
but
need to drag us back to where this went for the past 20 minutes away from the boys from Brazil. Gregory Peck replaced George C. Scott, who was originally cast as Mengele but pulled out before the principal photography began.
that would have been insane, and I
Yeah.
would have loved it.
I'm trying to work out timeline wise. Did he pull out possibly because of Exorcist? Because that was
Exorcist,
78, 77 ish.
his Exorcist was 90.
Was it that late? I thought it was. Oh,
It
yeah,
was
because Exorcist. I always think Exorcist 2 was way soon after Exorcist 1, when I don't think it was. That probably
yeah,
would have been around the right time.
well, the funny thing is he's Exorcist 3, but Exorcist 3 should be Exorcist 2.
Yeah.
So
Olivier was nominated for the Academy Award, but didn't win. But did get the Lifetime Achievement at the same ceremony.
that was Voitsier, wasn't it?
I'm trying to
78.
think.
78 would have been for Coming Home, yeah.
Yeah. Many Doberman owners were very upset when the film came out because everybody thought that all Dobermans could murder people by children that are definitely not Damien from The Omen.
Was that an intentional connection to Peck, by the way?
Probably not, but you know. I could have brought up that blooming episode of Columbo where he has the attack dogs. Like, weapons, happiness, and little children make one hell of a triple feature.
Oh,
Thanks,
Lord.
Josie.
Good lord, no! Oh my god! The captain has to come in here and say, "Hey, no."
For Josie's birthday, she got the Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob comic.
Yeah, I saw you were angling for that, Josie. I'm glad you got it, actually.
To my surprise, I didn't know that Josie and the Pussycats were going to be featured in it. There is a great
Not
scene where a Riverhead drug dealer, because they don't want the Jersey ass weed, giving Jay and Silent Bob a type of weed called Riders on the Storm, and then they perform totally high instead of Archie because Archie was sick. And they modelled the drawing of the hot drug dealer lady off of Jason Mewes' wife. Of course they did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, this is something that cropped up on my radar. I want to say this time last week. I mean, it's been about a week. Thoughts on Park Chan Wook getting kicked out the Writers Guild because he wrote during the guild strike and whatever.
He's claiming innocence, isn't he? I think I saw
so.
something like that. But it's like, that is the kind of thing that gets you kicked out, right? That's just
Yeah.
the way it works. I was
Then it,
thinking he said like he didn't do that or something, but
then
I didn't see
again,
that.
the touch, as Josie also mentions here in sort of follow up, could it help or hurt the award's trajectory? And she thinks it might lean towards help. Well, how much have we seen that stuff that isn't eligible for Writers Guild still, has enough power and momentum to not need Writers Guild to get, either nominated or win from the other bodies that aren't the Writers Guild.
Well, wasn't Decision to Leave? Was that what his last movie was?
Check. Sounds about right. Yeah.
And we were expecting that to do quite a bit awards wise, and it didn't show up at all.
Nope.
Like it'd be interesting now if he was in the race.
Yeah, I was just double checking whether that. Yeah, it did get the Academy entry for Courier and whatever. And of course, BAFTA tried to give it a push and whatever. Yeah, so Josie also says, some says it, if anything, it makes the WGA look bad. It's certainly the most high-profile thing I've seen from WGA, because usually, it's a sort of, when it comes to the award season, it's this not press release, but this thing that gets pushed out that basically like what isn't eligible for WGA, and that's the only thing that crops up, bar when they're striking and trying to come to agreement. So, especially as well considering how long that strike went for, it gets to the point where it's like, what are these people supposed to do? They can't just direct other scripts and whatever. Yeah, no other choices adapted, based off a Donald Westland novel called The Axe. A fan event I watched on YouTube, Jason Mewes shared a funny story where he wanted cameras in his house to watch when his daughter was not in her room. And said that his wife was like, but then he gets cut off. So I don't know what that. We ran out of character limit there, Josie. Because then we jump to favorite helicopter scenes in movies. From all over the place. To me, just because. Well, no, I guess it isn't a helicopter, it's a bloody fighter plane. But the random fucking ending from Collateral Damage where Art Malik just dies. I don't know why that film had that finish. I don't know whether AJ's reaction was reminding that film existed or not.
All the above.
Yeah.
I mean, it's another one. It's literally that's crazy. It's right here next to the Collector.
Oh right, yeah. Forgot. Alphabet.
Yeah. Collateral Damage, the Collector.
I don't
suppose
hear Collateral Beauty.
You'll notice it's missing. I suppose it's too cliche to say Apocalypse Now. With Ride of the Valkyries and all that.
The fact that that's so iconic, that is the default music for when you fly a helicopter in Fortnite.
Of course. Owen, what was the name of the movie on Seinfeld that Frank didn't want spoiled that everybody was talking about, where there was supposedly an incredible helicopter scene?
God dang it.
It wasn't Deathblow, was it?
It's something like that.
There is Deathblow, but I can't remember if Deathblow is the helicopter movie or not.
That sounds right. Verify.
It was a creative way. A helicopter.
Firestorm.
That's it. The helicopter was a creative way to kill Taylor Negron and the Last Boy Scout. That's always stuck out to me. I've always never minded Simon Gruber's death. That's a helicopter scene. Everybody thinks it's anticlimactic. I've never minded that ending, which we talked about in an entire movie club once.
Batman.
Oh yeah, a lot of villain deaths involve helicopters.
Yes.
It turns out.
So, I'm just now imagining if
Oh,
like
oh,
30
oh,
years,
oh,
if 30 years on we'd have done better now for the ending of Mission Impossible 1 than whatever the green screen mess that original thing was.
It's still interesting. Like crappy '90s effects aside, it's still a good scene too.
Yeah.
Um, Before I forget, I've got to shout out my actual answer. I think is The Matrix
Mm-hmm.
when Neo comes in to save Morpheus, and then it crashes into the building as Trinity's swinging away from it. That has got to be my favorite helicopter scene.
Josie says, would you rather go to the juke joint from Sinners or the titty twister from Dusk Till Dawn?
Well, the juke joint didn't start infested the way From Dusk Till Dawn did, so I go to the juke joints because
Yeah.
they might just not show up that day. And the titty twister, they're always there.
In this age of monopolies and consolidation, Quick Stop and S Mart were to merge and be owned by Acme. Thoughts? I mean, that's probably the plot of Coyote versus Acme. I do like
Logo
the
wrong
fact that
too.
all the publicity that they're doing for that now is literally having quote unquote lawyers come on the stage and say you can't talk about this anymore. uh, yeah, this caught me off guard considering how everything that I've seen of trailers didn't even show her in it. With Sharon Stone being in Nobody 2, a favourite performance of hers. Ooh.
I remember it blowing my mind her at the end of Alpha Dog.
Yeah.
I genuinely assumed they got his real mom in real life, and that's what that scene was. And it's
Yeah.
fucking her, or it's her buried in makeup. That blew my mind.
I'm trying to think. Um, Crazy as well that was the same year as the Basic Instinct sequel. Like,
Oh my god,
yeah.
just the full ends of the spectrum there.
I kind of. I didn't actually mind her in Quick and the Dead. Considering how that sort of. God knows how much of the publicity of that is Hackman and Crow and DiCaprio and everything in it. Whereas, technically, she's the lead?
She's for sure the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like on most of the posters I've seen, or at least the DVD art and whatever, they list the others before her, which I find weird.
That's also just wrong.
Yeah, completely
I had heard
nonsensical.
I saw her telling that story recently where it was like her getting nominated for Casino and De Niro not like pissed people off and like hurt her career or something. That's insane. It's actually impressive she got a leading nomination for Casino because I kind of say that's kind of a supporting performance. So it's like even more impressive that she got him for leading.
Um, Many are predicting Rental Family to win the People's Choice at TIFF. Sight unseen, understandably so, but sometimes curveballs can happen. as of today, what are our
Yeah,
predictions for the top three? I don't want to go too far into that.
that award is like the palm in regards to unpredictability.
Yeah,
It's like you could come up with like 10 contenders and it won't be any of them.
yeah. It, it'll be interesting to see like what we get with that because there are the sort of the big name directors, maybe not big name movies. I always keep an eye on Nicholas Heitner's Choral because it's Alan Bennett, so that's probably going to get a BAFTA nomination. You heard it here first, in some shape or form. Especially because, oh no, I think its world premiere is happening then. So, but I'm guessing that's probably going to be part of the London Film Festival. It's too much of a shoe in. Then again, of course, I don't know whether that's just the gala stuff. Maybe Soderbergh's thing could show up. Del Toro's Frankenstein could be in there. Yeah, I get confused because like, okay, you've got the gala presentations, which is basically your premieres, but like, God knows how much everything else that they show on that thing is basically stuff that's been at other festivals, and that could suddenly get in there, like Wake Up Dead Man. Full circle.
This
uh,
is like this is like tripping me out. This is the third video I've done today, and the muscles in my jaw are like spazzing out.
oh,
This is I hope that's all that's going on, or you're about to watch me have a stroke on camera. I don't
oh
know.
god,
I think it's because I'm not usually talking this much in one day.
yeah. Ironically, not many people have access because most don't want to spend $25 on something to watch at home. It's different theatrically, but at home. Oh, I guess that's referring to maybe bringing up Blur Superman because it's premium VOD and whatever rather than standard sort of release, which usually coincides with when the physical media, your DVDs and Blu-rays and 4Ks come out. Um,
Superman's Blu-ray is September 23rd, I think, which is weirdly soon.
mhm. With Springsteen's Deliver Me From Nowhere premiering at either Telluride or New York, I can't help but think about how funny it'd be to see a Jimmy Buffett biopic. Saying, would it be called Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville or just Margaritaville? No, I try and semi deep cut it, and or depending what approach you want to do with the thing, just call it "Why Don't We Get Drunk?" give it a more unique title. Cheeseburger in Paradise. That's a Ring
I
of Honor.
was I
That's a
was
Ring of Honor match, right? Uh,
I was just telling Owen the other day how I think it's dumb as fuck that they put Springsteen in front of Delivery from Nowhere. That's just an eyesore.
like they didn't have to blooming do Bob Dylan, a complete unknown, did they?
Yeah. Then again, if I remember correctly, A Complete Unknown didn't do very well box office wise, but well, I guess we'll see. But I think people are also just tired of the biopic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was the last? There's probably a really obvious answer you're about to make me feel dumb with, but what was the last super super successful biopic? Do we know off the top of our heads? Bohemian Rhapsody, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Believe it or not, Bohemian Rhapsody was 7 years ago. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I don't think there's.
There's ones that should have been more successful than they were, depending on who you ask.
Yeah, I know there were some people that liked the Whitney Houston one from a few years back.
You know, I never actually saw that one. It came in so late, and we
It
like
came
when
to
we were
mind
already
because I think
like,
they had it on last week. Because Saturday night on BBC Two is usually when they sort of put, music night, and
Elvis.
oh yeah. How well did
yeah,
Elvis
but
do?
most of the time with Elvis, I just think of Tom Hanks being Danhausen.
Yeah, that is correct. That is
How
100%
did,
correct.
how did Elvis do compared to Bohemian Rhapsody?
I'm looking at the list on Billboard right now, actually.
And by the way, I could be misremembering Bohemian Rhapsody, but I remember Bohemian Rhapsody being like really successful.
Hold on. Bohemian Rhapsody did 910 million
Woo.
worldwide. Elvis did 200.
Okay, so Elvis did still do quite well. It didn't do Bohemian Rhapsody numbers by any means.
I mean, Straight Outta Compton did well. Rocket Man did well. Walk the Line did well.
But what?
Even though it's
What?
not any.
I say, walk the line, you jumped way back.
Uh, Even though I didn't enjoy it, One Love did well overall.
Yeah, there was a weird amount of time where One Love was in the top 10 box office of that year. It lasted a while.
One Love actually did about $40 million more than A Complete Unknown did. It was the next. It's next on the list.
Ironically, at least according to Screen Rant's article from a couple of years back, right next to each other in terms of box office, Straight Outta Compton and Rocket Man.
Yep. I'm looking at the list right now.
Anyway,
That is cool how successful Straight Outta Compton was.
Speaking of cool, how successful something was that we absolutely love, just like Straight Outta Compton, 25 on that list was Get On Up.
yeah,
Oh, really?
It made about $34 million. And that's the lowest. So it's 25 to 1. So $34 million to $900 million.
I remember it wasn't even so much Get On Up that I like that much, but it was Boseman that was like, this is another level.
That's when you knew that Bozeman was going to be something special.
Yeah.
100%.
Because 42 is fine, but 42 ultimately never really stood out. But then what he did with Get On Up was like, that's the guy that's gonna be in fucking Ma Rainey.
Right.
Josie also asking who could play Jimmy Buffett. God knows he's irreplaceable.
There's got to be somebody that can that we're not thinking of.
In terms of look, maybe McConaughey could pull it off because it's very. What was that? If you look at some of the pictures of the younger Buffett, it's very much like how he looked in, what was it, White Boy Rick? With that stash and the sort of the hair as it was. Ish. Oh, Josie asks who would win in a fight, Annie Wilkes or Mrs. Trunchbull? I don't think Trunchbull would actually want to kill somebody. Wow.
Trunchbull also mainly hates kids. Like she would probably get along with Annie.
Yeah. Currently reading.
Annie,
Oh god.
Annie's like genuinely dead. I mean, Annie's also like mainly killed children, is what her backstory is. But what were you saying, Owen?
I'm reading a little bit of sense. So they're talking about fan casting for a Jimmy Buffett biopic. And I would not have a problem with this if this was the case. Jimmy Buffett is Larry David. He just can't I don't think he would be able to sing like Jimmy Buffett.
I'm confused.
Old Jimmy Buffett. Young Jimmy Buffett's Jason Lee. I'm looking at pictures right now, and
Are you
I
talking
can
about
see.
are you talking about a Love and Mercy kind of scenario here, or?
Yes, kind of. If you look at younger Jimmy Buffett, he looks like Jason Lee.
Old Jason Lee, or?
He looks like Mike Lookinland, but that's beside the point. He looks like Jason Lee.
I was gonna say, are we talking like 90s, 2000s Jason Lee or current Jason Lee? Not that he looks much older now, but there is a difference.
Yeah, very much 90s Jason Lee. Maybe 2000s Jason Lee. And I'm always up for Jason Lee getting something else that he can show the world why he's a great actor, and not enough people realize that.
Josie says
they did mention McConaughey as well, so McConaughey's another option that they're on your boat as well about McConaughey, Ashley.
Yeah. Josie says currently reading Veer or Faith by Gary Stengart. Have me or AJ heard of them? Not off the top of my head. I don't recognise that name. Let me have a quick check.
All right.
I will say that McConaughey on a lot of people's minds that was on the festival circuit but doesn't have a distributor, but I believe it just got one, and that is I believe it's like The Trials of Amaziah King, and apparently it's supposed to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I know he's got that, and he's got the Greengrass movie coming up. As far as Josie and the books, I was gonna mention that I'm just about done with Caught Stealing, and then after this, I'm going right into Die My Love. So I'm very psyched about these. I was shocked at how thin Die My Love is. Look at that. That's it. It's like barely over 100 pages.
Wow.
So, and the comment on the front is a touch of David Lynch. So I'm very excited about this.
Josie says that Marley Matlin has a documentary about her now. No,
I'm assuming it's not.
Go ahead.
I'm assuming it's nothing like that other documentary she was in like the early 2000s that was whatever the fuck that was.
Wake Up Dead Man, from what I know, concerns the clergy. Are we in a golden age of clergy movies?
So we got that in Conclave, and does Conclave count? What class? What is the definition of clergy exactly?
I mean, if it's got a priest, I guess if it's got the priest, or it revolves around sort of churches, maybe. But like,
what I do know is that I love the fact that Josh Brolin was telling a story where I guess like a year before he got Wake Up Dead Man, he had specifically told his wife, I think it'd be really cool if I played a priest. And with like no provocation, Wake Up Dead Man landed in his lap, and that was the part. So I'm really excited to see what that turns into while we're on the subject.
We've also got Mona Fastvold's Testament of Anne Lee as well. Joseph says it would have been awesome if Bamboozled got a 25th anniversary re-release.
That's probably... Bamboozled is probably my favorite Spike Lee movie, and I think it's everybody else's least favorite outside of Old Boy. That movie is so brilliant and insane, and I could do a review of it so I've actually written a review for it for a book that I want to put together, but I haven't like spoken it yet.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was just looking because of some of the current stuff. I was just having a quick look at the local cinema times for me. I don't know whether it's just the one chain, although the poster seems to imply otherwise that it might be multiple places. There is one other thing coming out this weekend that I didn't see coming, or not this weekend, the following weekend. Netflix is actually bothering to do sing-along release of K-pop Demon Hunters.
I saw that.
Which, considering how well that went down, it's like, and especially for theaters that never show Netflix films, that's the thing as well. That's fascinating. Okay, quite a
I
few of
didn't.
them are spinning it off as music things because it's sing along and because it's K-pop, probably.
I that came out what, like at the end of June or something?
Yeah, a few months.
It was weird because like I hadn't heard of it at all. And then like a few weeks ago, like over a month after it had been out, it was like suddenly it was a thing. But I was hearing stuff like, "Oh yeah, my kids love this movie." Like it's something that's been out forever. And it's I know that I guess with streaming that's what happens now, but yeah, I felt like it came from out of nowhere, and I was surprised when it was like, "What? This has been out for like over a month?" And I guess it'd been taking off all in that time. It was just out of my radar, I guess. I saw it, but I'm not like I came to the conclusion with Owen where we kind of talked about this on a live before, but it's like I don't unless it's something that I really fall in love with, I don't think I'm reviewing animated movies now because I just they just don't. I can watch something and be like, I get why this has a big following. I get why people love this, but it just doesn't. It just bounces off of me, I guess. And I hate to, say that about an entire section of movie making, but
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. But like occasionally like an Encanto will come along and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm in love with this. Oh my God, I'm in love with this soundtrack and the characters and all that." But it's like so rare at this point. And it's a me thing, it's not an animation thing. So,
um, Jojo says Crooklyn should get a Criterion release considering it already has a Kino Blu-ray.
that makes sense. Crooklyn's so good. I love like when people can see like say it's like kind of self-flating or something when a director kind of makes their own biopic, but so many of those are so good. Like Belfast and Roma, and like I think Crooklyn is in that category with Belfast and Roma and stuff like that.
Uh, Hunter Hiei. I think that's how it's pronounced. Apologies if you want me to, so I know how to say it if you are popping in chat more often, not Hunter. Hunter says, thanks to some friends of mine, I've seen what's rumoured to be the final cut of Wicked for Good. And then adds underneath as well, thanks to some other friends who work with A24, they might be getting a chance to see an early or somewhat cut of Marty Supreme. The
Oh my
unofficial
God,
sequel to that scene in Tom Hanks's Forrest Gump.
I
Maybe.
haven't since I don't watch advertisements or trailers or anything. I haven't watched that trailer, but I can tell you just based on very little information I have, I am so fucking hyped about Marty Supreme. I love Chalamet in general, even though I didn't like A Complete Unknown or Wonka. I still kind of love Chalamet, and I'm like really freaking out about this thing. Apparently, Spike Lee wants to work with him. I really want to see that. I actually think he would kill it in a Spike Lee movie, and I'm glad that Spike Lee might be pursuing this.
uh, And then also mentions, Freaky Friday's doing extremely well, but being overshadowed by weapons. Josie, I guess because of the Marty Supreme talk, have any of us ever played ping pong? I mean, the free tables that are just randomly out, sort of, in the towns nearby, I've played a few minutes of, but nothing sort of really more substantial than that.
In ninth grade, we played it in gym class,
Yes, we did.
and this may not surprise you. That was my favorite thing we ever did in gym class. It's
Yeah,
very it's surprisingly, I don't know if I'm comparing it to the rest of gym class or what. I found it very relaxing.
unless you played an extreme version of it, which basically included playing it as it were tennis, which I did during a gym class one time.
That's a decision.
It was fun.
Josie says, I really enjoyed Freakier Friday more than I was expecting.
Same.
The original one is a better movie for sure, but I'd say that the one superior aspect is I find Manny Giacinto as a much better love interest than Chad Michael Murray was. It doesn't help that his name's Chad.
I thought Chad Michael Murray's hilarious in the first movie, though. You gotta give him some credit.
Yeah. And Bryce says
I
Shrek.
like what he's doing in this one too, but I agree that Mini Nintendo is also praiseworthy, even though I think I forgot to mention now. But I'm telling you now that I praise him as well. Especially when you see him after The Good Place and you realize he's not actually that dumb. He just played it so well.
Yeah.
I think he's actually supposed to be like super smart. Like he's supposed to be the exact opposite of Jason in real life, which is even funny.
Bryce saying Shrek 5 delayed to 2027. I'm trying to work out whether that's a delay because a la Sonic the Hedgehog, in that people didn't like the animation aspects of them. Even though you'd have thought characters will age, even if they're ogres, so whether they're going to tweak it in that respect, I don't know. But or whether it's just because they don't want it to release at the same time as Avengers and get lost in the shuffle. Josie says, AJ, my brother said the new Jurassic World was a joke, and while he didn't think Dominion was good, he thought it was better than Rebirth. I want to say that's a rare opinion, because I think most people I've seen didn't mind Rebirth, but thought Dominion sort of, to be honest, they thought after Dominion how they were going to do any more. But there you go.
That's a take.
I didn't see any movie past the regular Jurassic World until Rebirth, so I have no stake in this conversation at all.
He really like that. That's a good like what 5-hour chunk of time you didn't waste.
Yeah.
I hope you used it wisely.
Well, trust me, I've wasted some time this year on movies.
Oh, speaking of that, because I'm hoping it wasn't a waste of time, because we know how fond you were of the first one. What was your take on Bad Guys 2, Owen?
Okay. So, I love the Bad Guys. A long time ago, I've made these references, and I'll say them again because I feel like they make sense. Gravity Falls was always David Lynch for children. SpongeBob to me was always Seinfeld for children. I thought the Bad Guys was Tarantino for children. But it still had that slick style to it. And it was really witty too. So I saw the trailer and they leaned way too much into the toilet humor, and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna hate this, aren't I? It's basically gonna do what Sinister 2 did to Sinister. It's gonna make me not like something that I really enjoyed. Or a better example, since it's animated, Monsters University did to Monsters Inc. Um, if you take away the toilet humor, which I know is one big overarching theme of pretty much the end of the movie, I didn't mind it. It's still really funny. It's still smart. It's just if I could get rid of that one aspect, I'd have been completely fine with it. And it's hilarious that the next day I literally saw Mr. Horse-Dick.MPEG live at Funny Bun. And that was great too. Getting to see Craig Robinson live, I thought that was. I'm glad I got the chance to do that. I really am. That was a fun time.
Okay, now that you brought up Horsick.MPEG, we've kind of
Yes.
circled back. We've kind of circled back around to something, and I saw something yesterday I had never seen before,
Okay.
and I'm really curious what the reactions to it would be if more people knew. Because it's a weird fucking story. Some people might think, oh, it means nothing, but it's a weird fucking story. And the reason it's worth bringing up now is because of what his status is now, what both of their statuses are now. Has anybody heard Zach Kreger's story about Jimmy Fallon?
No.
It's weird, man. And some people think Jimmy Fallon might be the inspiration for a certain scene in Weapons. I don't know if I want to give you a condensed version of it or if I just want to say look up Zach Kreger Jimmy Fallon story. It's a video of when he and Trevor Moore were doing like a live stream.
Right.
He tells the story and it's a weird story.
I'm just
What it
trying to
basically
work out
amounts to
which scene from Weapons, maybe.
what it basically comes down to is and all the comments are like from a year ago and they're saying like this is gonna blow up, but it's like now that Kreger's where he's at now, I kind of wonder. But so I guess it was when Fallon still had late night
Mm-hmm.
and Kreger was still just like, in the sketch comedy area.
Whitest kids, you know.
Yeah, and he was doing something with like Anthony Anderson and somebody else, and they were doing a bit on late night, and Fallon, I guess, did like their theme song or something for whatever this was.
Sure.
And they went out. Everybody knows Jimmy Fallon likes his drinking.
Yep.
It's like I don't know how well known that is at this point, but I think it's pretty well known. And so they all went out drinking, and they got shit faced, and I guess they were like really roughhousing. And it got to a point to where Kreger feels like he probably is the one that crossed the line because Fallon was talking to somebody at a bar and Kreger pulled his legs out from under him and he hit the floor. And what happened apparently was Fallon got up, looked at him, and his face said, "We're not playing around anymore." And Fallon got on top of Kreger and choked him. nearly strangled him.
I haven't laughed.
He was like hitting Fallon in the head to get him off of him because he was fearing for his life. And then when Fallon let go, he got in a cab and left. It wasn't like oh man, that got out of hand. Fallon just left after nearly strangling him. And then I guess they were fine the next day. Like Kreger was trying to eventually get to the point of it's kind of a non-story, but like not really. That's fucking weird.
I mean, I don't want to go into the past. There was a time that I was literally choked while someone apparently was asleep. So yes, I know how that feels.
Now that theory has risen of did Fallon inspire a scene from Left?
That's great.
um, Josie says to add to your cynicism, AJ, people are also getting stupider, and there is actual science that backs it up. So,
Well, yeah.
Well, well, I mean, I don't want to say that like out loud or anything, but
um, Hunter also mentions to you, AJ. I got a rare opportunity to see a very, very early screening of Wake Up Dead Man. Adding, my God, it's so damn good.
Uh, oh yes.
Hunter says it's
There's
in
such
my
a. I
top
mean,
10 of the year so far.
I know it's a given because it's a Knives Out movie, but the cast in this one is so good. I'm not Mila Kunis's biggest fan. She's like the one where I'm like her, but but I'm still like everything about it. I'm just so ready for. It feels. I know it's like not technically, but it feels too far away. I need it soon.
What I'm intrigued about if somehow they've kept quiet, you know, on some of the actual other cast that's in it. Like there's going to be other people that we aren't going to see coming. In essence, what they should kind of
Even
do is what at least the Agatha Christie films did with Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile. Arguably for both the original 70s ones and the Branagh ones, and like get a big name star, just have them sort of show up and basically be the first murder victim.
yeah.
But don't advertise it. Like,
There's also just the random cameos that were in Glass Onion, like Hugh Grant and Ethan Hawke and stuff like that. Stuff
mm-hmm.
like that can happen. I'm curious if we're getting more Hugh Grant or not. I don't even know if that's been like something that's like confirmed or not, but I don't think I've heard anything about him
Somehow
being
I
in it.
think Johnson would be the kind of guy that would try and if somehow he showed up to a church, somebody would do a crack line as like, is this a wedding or a funeral or something so stupid like that. um, Hunter also says, do you think Sinners would qualify an original screenplay if it were to be nominated? I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it would be.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because it's only sort of loosely, one of the characters is loosely inspired by that jazz person. You know, I don't think you can officially say it's sort of adapted from
Yeah,
anything. So
it's not based on like the full name of the category for adapted, I think, is material previously published. So I think it's not like nothing is previously published about it. So I would say that's for certain that it's original.
um, Hunter also says, when it comes to me seeing the Wicked for Good cut, I think it gets in for Best Picture. To be honest, I
I
thought that was a
guarantee it
given
does.
anyway. If the first one got in for something that probably compared to part two is going to be considered, you know, part one isn't going to be as good as part two. It seems obvious.
I I don't know anything about the second part of Wicked. I'm curious how much of it is The Wizard of Oz because I feel like I've heard quite a bit of it is, unless I misheard.
I mean, I don't know enough of the musical, but considering the trailer shows red slippers and the
Mm-hmm.
implication of stuff, I think, yeah. The
Because I
second one
would,
does dabble a bit more into that.
because the people that know me know that The Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite things ever. And so some people assume that if it gets some sort of new version or some semi-remake or something, that I'm against that. But I found that I like nearly all Oz properties. So I'm so if it should happen to be like a lot The Wizard of Oz, I'm actually like super down for that.
For the marketing campaign of Smashing Machine and Marty Supreme, they should do specialty burgers. Triple Krabby Supreme. Did anybody order a Triple Krabby Supreme? Um, Josie, in terms of helicopter stuff, mentions the original Jurassic Park Rat Race. Wow. Goodfellas.
Oh wait, no, no, there's an aspect of the helicopter scene in Rat Race that almost opened up another political door that we won't open. I was like, hey, you had the right idea there, Amy Smart, but we won't go down that path.
And then, speaking of Goodfellas, it's De Niro's birthday today. Um, oh, this is one we haven't sort of dabbled in a while. Except Hunter's described it keep, watch, burn. It's an interesting phrase.
Keep, watch, burn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all Nolan themed.
Okay.
We have Dark Knight, Oppenheimer, and Memento.
Keeping Oppenheimer, I think, is my favorite Nolan, so that's being kept. Am I going to get crucified if I say burn the Dark Knight? I think that's where I'm headed.
Weirdly, to be honest, for me, I'd kind of burn Oppenheimer. Because in essence, I feel there's much stronger films from his back catalogue that should have got more recognition than basically what Oppenheimer kind of. I don't want to say got by default because it's still an exceptional film, but like. Dark Knight was such an exceptional Batman adaptation compared to everything been or since, arguably. And yeah, certainly as well, Memento. The fact that Nolan sort of somehow figured that out and but presented it in such a way that even though it's completely out of sync, it kind of makes perfect sense. That probably is my, keep. And I could, I have no excuse in watching The Dark Knight. They keep showing it every other week on the channel. God, yeah, but weirdly, sort of Oppenheimer because it's like there'd be fighting words if Oppenheimer was replaced by Inception. Then I'd be working out which of the other ones to get rid of, and things like that. But yeah, that's my take on it. For you, Owen.
I have to burn Memento by default.
Yeah, because that's the one that you haven't seen, I think, yet.
No, I have. It's
oh,
just,
okay. It's just you. The other two, yeah.
I love The Dark Knight so much. But I also don't have like Overwatch like most people I know have been with The Dark Knight, which sometimes if you watch something too many times, you get sick of it. And then you start realizing you ask yourself more questions that you didn't ask yourself before.
Yeah, because what's interesting is realizing this now. It's like when you mentioned those three, The Dark Knight's the one I've been the most critical of those three.
Right.
My criticism has always been that I mean I love The Dark Knight. Don't get me wrong. I know it front to back, but I do think The Dark Knight has the theme of chaos. I feel like I feel like there's messy shit in The Dark Knight that's hiding behind the theme of chaos, where it's not chaotic, it's just messy. um, and I'm just not gonna burn Oppenheimer or Memento, so it's like a process of elimination kind of thing. So yeah.
I want to say we might have mentioned these when we did do the sort of. Although I don't know whether we did it specifically Oscars flashbacks for picture back in the time, but Hunter says if 10 nominees for Best Picture would have come in 95 when Braveheart won, would have Casino made the 10? I'd have thought so. I'm trying to think what else was that year.
The Usual Suspects would have absolutely been in there.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it would help to remember what the tech nominees were for 95, which I am not going to remember.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick check.
I don't think Seven's sole editing nomination would have been enough.
Yeah, especially when
I
Best.
think
Especially, God,
it's
I just realised that was a weird year because that was Braveheart over Apollo 13, Babe, The Postman. Not the Kevin Costner one, and Sense and Sensibility. So
well, the other directing, the two director nominees that didn't make picture were Dead Man Walking and Leaving Las Vegas, so those were probably there.
yeah,
For The Usual Suspects would have been 8.
Nixon possibly.
That seems like one of those things that would have probably Nixon.
Maybe Toy Story. I mean, the fact that Babe made it in.
Yeah, I mean, we were only 4 years after Beauty and the Beast had pulled it off.
Yeah.
Which movie are we talking about again? I lost it.
Casino.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things where it might have just been Scorsese's goodwill that got it in like the 10th slot. If it's there, it's probably 10th.
The fact that that Sharon Stone was the only nomination for that film that year, as well.
Yeah, missing an editing is crazy. Not as crazy as The Wolf of Wall Street missing an editing, but it's crazy still. Actually,
Yeah.
no, they're probably about equal in craziness. Like how the fuck?
That Usual Suspects only had 2, and I also see alongside that 12 Monkeys, that script might have made it. You know, could have pulled it enough to maybe get a third as well.
What The Usual Suspects definitely has on his side is that it won those 2, and they're 2 big ones. See, I would like to think it was in there, but if it would have been in there, it would have been last probably.
And then also they mentioned.
I didn't.
Go ahead.
I didn't realize how much I knew about the 1995 Oscars off the top of my head, until just now.
And then also mentions should Goodfellas have won Best Picture over Dances with Wolves?
I'm not mad at Dances with Wolves winning, but I like Goodfellas more.
Yeah.
if that's an answer.
I probably like Ghost more than Dances with Wolves as well.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Say that's fair.
But the thing about it though is Goodfellas and Ghost are also more my kind of movie than Dances with Wolves is. So it's kind of that's where I'm coming from. So what? Godfather 3 and Awakenings were the other 2.
Yeah. Oh, Bry also mentions, at least with Bry's list, the 4 we talked about: Vegas, Dead Man Walking, Usual Suspects, and Toy Story. But then probably again because Woody Allen, Mighty Aphrodite might have been one of the 10 as well. Josie says
That's
super.
insane to me. You just mentioned Four Weddings and a Funeral a little bit ago. When you look at the fact that Four Weddings and a Funeral only had a screenplay nomination and got a slot in 1994 is insane by itself. But when you look at what Bullets Over Broadway had going in, it's fucking insane that Bullets Over Broadway is not a picture nominee when you look at what it did get.
Yeah,
It's crazy. I don't know how Four Weddings and a Funeral pulled that off. That still blows my mind.
especially as well, quit. Well, no, I guess quiz show having four meant it was joint third, so I guess that sort of is fair.
I'll always take the time to shout this out. I like Schofield's nomination for quiz show, but they robbed Turturro so hard. Turturro absolutely should have had that nomination. I think SAG, he was in the SAG lineup, but that's a terrible snub.
Oh god, I forgot. But speaking of snubs, Hunter says, uh, yeah, Last Man Walking, Usual Suspects, Leaving Las Vegas, and Toy Story. I'd have chosen Casino and Heat. Heat got
Yeah,
zero Oscar nominations. I forgot. Just because it wasn't on
yeah,
the list, I forgot that was have been that year.
yeah, that just doesn't compute.
Yeah. Josie says Superman releases on Blu-ray 2 days before Christopher Reeve's birthday, which means he be a Libra. Hunter says I also got to see a cut of Del Toro's Frankenstein a number of months back. The cut I saw was great. Not sure whether it was the final cut.
Dude, who are you? I'm really curious about this. But also, I like the mystery.
Yeah. I guess with Jimmy Buffett stuff here, as we roll around before, the Oscar, what would we do for the visual effects, which we'll get to wrap it up. Excited to. Oh, Josie says excited to see Jacob in Frankenstein. I think he's a pretty promising actor. Certainly, the approach of that as well is way more different than I thought it was going to be. It's like it's sort of a sequel to Frankenstein, but also not seemingly. Either way, so Hunter says, what about Paul Rudd, Aaron Eckhart, Matt Broderick, or John Hamm as the older Jimmy Buffett? And then possibly Charlie Plummer, Jack Quaid, Logan Lerman as a younger Jimmy Buffett.
I like the Broderick shout out because I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's actually capable of because he's mostly in roles that don't actually showcase what he can do. Like when you think of him, you think of like Lonergan stuff, Ferris Bueller, and Election are his peaks, and anything Broadway related. But it's like he like when people think of him, they think like he's bland. But it's like no, I don't have parts that really show off what he's capable of. So I like that, the idea of that.
Yeah, it's a shame we sort of really haven't seen much more of him since No Hard Feelings, really. Oh
Yeah, because even in
god,
the Lonergan stuff, he has like small roles
I
usually.
forgot he was a voice in that fucking movie. Oh, the one that now is showing a lot on TV over here because I don't know whether it's cheaper. Also, I hope they are showing the UK version, but I forgot he was the voice of one of the characters in Wonder Park. That animated film that has no director because the director was allegedly a piece of shit. So,
Isn't that also the one where the movie's called Wonder Park, but that's not the name of the park in the movie?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, well, no, because I don't think they wanted to call it Wonderland because people would have thought it was something else.
I don't think anybody's going to confuse it for the Kilmer John Holmes movie. But
Nah. Uh, Josie says Rivals of Amzire King got picked up by Black Bear, which Hunter also
Oh,
says is brilliant. I saw the movie's debut.
that's good that it's Black Bear because Black Bear is starting to appear very regularly in my theaters. So that gives me hope.
walking down like the snowy street.
Yes.
That's a really nice. That's a really nice logo.
Uh,
I believe they did Relay.
who would win in a fight, Gladys or Miss Trunchbull?
Well, without spoiling anything, one has the upper hand. One, one, one is also one is supernatural. I'll say that.
one might or might not be getting a prequel movie that might not actually be anything to do with Zach Craig. Because Warner Brothers are idiots. Then again, the question now will be, will Warner Brothers actually bother to do a physical release for it? Considering how he's still
They,
pleading for a physical release for Barbarian.
um, I am holding out. If they do, there should be no fucking question. But if they do a physical release for Weapons, surely to God, that will prompt them to say, "Well, while we're at it, let's." That I still don't know why
Well, to be
Barbarian does not have
fair,
a it
Barbarian would
dropped.
be Disney because it's 20th century.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's the issue.
And I think like Arrow or somebody should just pick it up and release it. I could see that. I could see it having a really sweet cover and everything.
Supposedly, I don't know how international it's going to be, but they're all set up to maybe do a 4K release soon of Dead Man's Shoes, which is one that I want to be on the next time we ever get around to doing Popcast Movie Club. What an exceptional film that is! What a that's how Shane Meadows put himself on the map. Oh, and Josie asks, "Are we fans of the Moody Blues?" As the in terms of the band, in terms of there's probably
I
some
don't
film called Moody Blues.
I don't know if I know a song off the top of my head outside of Nights in White Satin. But I'm not like big on I don't know I love music, but I don't know like
I mean, to some extent,
bands
it's
or albums.
crazy that that group's got like the guy that did guitar for Wings, and the guy that most people will know that did the War of the Worlds. Forever Autumn and the main theme, if you want to call it that. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Oh God, I forgot. Go Now was really early Moody Blues from like the '60s, like 2 or 3 years before Nights in White Satin. Uh, that's probably the only two that come to my mind off the top of my head. But I don't mind their music. It's not like something when it comes on the radio, I'm like, nope.
Like I'm one of those people where it's like I know songs when I hear them, but a lot of the times I couldn't tell you who they are or even what the title is.
And Spencer randomly pops his head in and says, "I love Labor Day." Problem is, I don't know whether that's the holiday or the movie.
I'm going to assume the Jason Reitman movie, the really bizarre Jason Reitman.
Right. So going back round, if I scroll back up, Bry's Oscars game to finish us off. As we finish off visual effects, because basically Bry said because the other years of the sort of 60s and 70s would basically be one or the other. It's a bit too narrow to make a thing out of it. So because of that, we're doing one of the 70s, and then I guess most of the 80s is free, but there's a few which are just easy ones because there's either one or two. So for 79, we had Alien win out over 1941, The Black Hole, Moonraker, science fact, not science fiction. One of the best quotes I've seen that. And the first Star Trek movie.
That's a good lineup, and there's a shitload of space in it.
Yeah. All those lasers in space, though. Science fact. Cubby Broccoli said so.
You know, would it count? Moonraker has my all-time. I mean, say what you will about Moonraker. Moonraker has my all-time favorite Bond opening, but the skydiving scene.
Mm-hmm.
Does that count as visual effects? Because I'm kind of tempted to say Moonraker actually, even though Alien seems like a no-brainer choice.
I'm trying to say, I want to say no in the respect that at least two of the people that I see listed as like the people taking the credit, one of them basically did Thunderbirds, i.e. the original stuff, all the miniature stuff. I still love the fact that he's the one that was like, right, I need to get an RC plane and turn it into a golden car for Scaramanga to fly off in. And we'll just do it at a field in fucking the UK and make it look like it's America. So I think maybe the special effects is basically just the Moonraker miniature in space sort of thing and things like that. I don't know.
Yeah, because this is an interesting era because when you think of visual effects today, everybody would think about CGI.
Yeah.
But we're in an era where it's like there's some of that, but there's a lot of the practical stuff, and that's also visual effects.
I'd probably stick with Alien just because, Giga's depiction of the xenomorph being as iconic now as it even was, what, 40, no. Yeah, no, 45 ish years ago. Um, and also, like, some of the way the sets reacted as well in terms of the stuff. Because obviously, at that point, visual effects would be fire and smoke. Like,
And by the way, while we're on the topic, I really love Alien Earth so far. I was trying to think of where I could throw that in this conversation. Here we are.
there was you shooting, yeah. Like,
Yeah, I'm like instantly hooked, which doesn't typically happen with me in TV shows, so that's really exciting.
although I love the fact that the thing that trended over the first week was the random sighting of Sid the Sloth from Ice Age. Rather than anything like the thing's good, it's more like, what the shit is Sid the Sloth being referenced in this for?
The fact that it's so dramatic, it's like a dramatic moment.
Yes, as well.
I'm actually gonna stick with Moon.
Hang on, have I got the? No, I haven't got it here because it all transferred over to the other one. It's like that bloody spot of the thumbnail that I have, at least for transition scenes, where Moxley sort of looking worried, and then it's just faded in right, so it's like Minoru Suzuki, as if he's a ghost, is just like watching on and laughing, sort of thing. That's what the Sid the Sloth thing was. It was like is this significant? It's like, is this mean people are going to look at Ice Age in a completely different manner now? Like,
Weirdly, by the way, I think it was Continental Drift he was watching. Of all of them, it's like, oh wait, that's the monkey captain voiced by Peter Dinklage. That's Continental Drift. But yeah, I think I'm actually gonna go Moonraker. So
Any for you, Owen, or
Alien.
I don't want to shrug off the Black Hole. By the way, that's just a really good lineup.
yeah, underappreciated Disney film, to be fair.
I
Um,
think Nolan said it's one of his favorite movies. That's like the only time I ever really hear it referenced.
gen. I guess this is just general thoughts. We'll wrap these two together, just because they're the only ones that are you know, they gave up. Um, the fact that Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi got special recognition in their years, but apparently nothing else. Was it? It can't have been that bad in terms of like shit for effects and whatever. Seriously? I'm trying to look. Yeah, that's the highest grossing. Maybe Airplane, but in a different manner. I don't know. And I can't remember. I guess they wouldn't have used too much miniature work in Octopussy for 1983.
That scene where they fight on the plane had to involve something,
Yeah, true.
or just with that in the skydiving and all that. Just the stunts in Bond movies were really fucking good.
Yeah,
And yeah, the Moore era gets a lot of shit, but the stunt work in his era is insane.
yeah. I'm, and that is another reason why I like On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and I will champion it till the day I die. Like some of this, the ski work from Bogner and that, and the crew, and the Cresta run or whatever it was, the bobsled thing that actually killed people. Um, not on the film like in previous years. So clarify that. Holy shit. Um, so 81. Raiders of the Lost Ark beat out Dragon Slayer. Now I'm trying to double check what Dragon Slayer is, because it's another Disney one. Oh,
That's the one with Peter McNichol.
okay, it's Disney internationally, but it was Paramount for North America. That's why. Maybe that's why it doesn't get seen much, because of the the fact that two major companies have the distribution. Yeah, remastered. Oh, it only got remastered in America, at least released Paramount wise in America. So I don't know whether that came out over here. Either way, I'd probably say Raiders for that one.
Are those the only two?
Yeah, it was just those two that year. Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming from two places here before it sounds like I'm making a rash decision, but I'm coming from one angle, which is I think Raiders is overrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm coming from another angle where I think the effects in Dragon Slayer are genuinely great,
Yeah,
which is why I'm saying Dragon Slayer.
that's fair. Then 82. That's a trilogy. E.T. beat out Blade Runner and Poltergeist.
I know everybody's gonna say Blade Runner. I already know everybody's gonna say Blade Runner. That would come across this video.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just I'm like diehard ET all the way, and with the magic that comes off of those scenes, I can't deny it. So once again, it might have something to do with the fact of what I just said about Raiders and the rest of Blade Runner, but the stuff that's going on in Poltergeist is great also, but ET is just like when you think of the phrase cinematic magic, one of the first movies you're gonna think of is ET. So I have no problem saying that it's worthy of that win.
I'd probably stick with ET as well, to be fair, for the work with that. Arguably, Blade Runner would have been partly visual effects because some of that was digitized, but obviously there were, again, it was a sort of practical set as well for some of the sort of space. Well, not really space, but the city skyline sort of bits and whatever. So
Yeah, I had to pause with Blade Runner the way I paused thinking about Alien. I guess it's a Ridley Scott thing. Um, where when it was like, oh yeah, the visual effects are great in that, and then I realized I'm thinking of the production design.
yeah,
It's like that's what really stands out about those also. But yeah.
uh, Owen, for them too. I guess just what one.
Yeah, that's fine.
For 84, we had Temple of Doom beat out 2010 and Ghostbusters.
Don't want to seem like I'm hating on Indiana Jones here, but 2010 is the one that really stands out to me there. Ghostbusters has fun effects, but if we're comparing them to the others, it's well, the more mass destruction in Ghostbusters is very well done. But I might go 2010 on this, I think.
No, I'd probably stick with Temple of Doom on that one. There's a lot of good stuff there. Owen?
Ghostbusters.
For 85, we had Cocoon beat out Return to Oz and Young Sherlock Holmes. Oh, here we go. It's Wizard of Oz themed.
I'm trying to remember what all effects were in Cocoon, besides like the pods or whatever they were. Return to Oz is the only one of those I have a real vivid memory of. Because I probably because also I just rewatched it last year. But I mean, Return to Oz doesn't have like stellar effects that hold up or anything. Like the rock faces don't hold up or anything like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I might end up saying Cocoon if I could remember what all was in Cocoon, visual effects wise.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm not entirely clear on
Between that and the Amici win, it's like they were just being really generous to Cocoon for no reason.
that. I'd probably stick with that. I'd probably say I'd probably put Young Sherlock second if I was ranking the three. But then that's probably sort of me not thinking that Return to Oz was semi as exceptional as the obviously original thing was. But then, of course, we're talking 50 years before sort of thing, so that doesn't help. Owen, you.
Cocoon.
86, we had Aliens beat out Little Shop of Horrors and Poltergeist 2.
Poltergeist 2 is very underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Kane might be one of the creepiest horror villains ever, and I feel like he's never brought up. That being said, yeah, this one's kind of. I mean, I love Little Shop of Horrors too, and the Audrey 2 effect is great, but this one's kind of a no-brainer on Aliens.
Yeah, I'd probably go with
When you bring Cameron into the mix, it's kind of over.
Yeah. True. Owen.
Aliens.
Ooh. 87 Inner Space beat out Predator. That's tough because I do appreciate like the stuff that Inner Space does, but like the whole workings of like the Predator sort of costume and animatronics. Because that's blatantly what it is. Because Stan Winston is in the fucking credits, so it's like it's obviously that.
Yeah, I can see why they went Inner Space, because Inner Space is like busier effects wise.
Yeah,
I think I'm feeling Predator on this.
yeah, just because to some extent as well, I think like some of the stuff that Stan did with that costume still hasn't been matched despite all the technology that we have, what, nearly 40 years on? Owen?
Yeah, I have to go with Predator.
Oh, wow. From 88, we have Who Framed Roger Rabbit beat out Die Hard and Willow.
Well, I mean, Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of broke the mold.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to say Die Hard, and I don't want to discount Willow either, but I mean, Roger Rabbit just did a whole other thing. So that's another. Zemeckis is well, at one point, Zemeckis was like a Cameron, where it's like you bring him into the mix and it's over. We were still in the era that Zemeckis was like that. So
Yeah. That's now making me click on his name and work out, is he actually still doing stuff? After considering how bad here went. Oh, don't look like it. And then for
I feel like
89,
I feel like I feel like Welcome to Marwin is a lower low than Here was. I don't know if that's controversial or not, but
yeah, but it gave us Steve Carell playing another Mark for the Wall of Mark. That might be the only good thing that came out of that thing. Which I guess is semi harsh because okay, his Pinocchio sort of wasn't great, and here wasn't great, but I didn't mind his version of the Witches.
the witches just went in and out for me. I was impressed with the commitment to Here's concept.
Yeah,
Like there's something about that movie that's worthwhile, even if it's not great.
and then finally for 89, going back to Jimmy, Abyss beating out Baron Munchausen and Back to the Future Part 2. Oh, and Zemeck.
Putting Marty within the footage from the first movie hasn't really aged that well. You can really see the separation,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of great shit in it too. But yeah, the Abyss is kind of untouchable.
Yeah.
And
Same.
Baron Munchausen has a lot of great stuff, a lot of practical stuff that's really great, but the Abyss is untouchable.
And then just trying to find it again. So Briar said next time, whenever we get round to doing it live, or at least live as the audience sees it, we're gonna do makeup and hair of the 90s.
That should be a good one.
So we'll see how that goes. No other comments have come in, so time to wrap the shindig. Oh, and I'll let you tease whatever you want to tease, so I don't sort of go too much foot in mouth.
All right. I didn't talk much there. So we've got our Go ahead.
No, I think it was like you coming through on AJ's end. I don't know
Sounded
why.
like there was a glitch. Anyway, um, so yes, next week we will officially be starting our Oscar predictions. And I don't need to lie. I'll shoot with you guys because that's what I do. It's going to be Monday. And we're going to be filming it with the three of us. And then we're going to be doing a live to talk about it in the future. I'd say near future. I don't want to say distant future because after Monday, I'm going to be real busy for the next 2 months. I'm sure everyone knows what this time of year means. So, yeah, needless to say, I'll be a little untouchable for a bit. But don't worry, as always, plenty of content on this channel. And as I alluded to earlier tonight, the very special day that is Halloween, if you know, you know, will be the video that we've been wanting to do for a while now. It seems like something we've always talked about, but we never ever made it work somehow. We've got a way to figure it out, and now it's going to make it work. So yes, there's going to be something coming on Halloween that you're going to want to see that we're also filming on Monday. These will be with just the three of us, or in the case of the Halloween video, the four of us. And it should be a fun time. And that also will coincide with a live that we'll do so you can talk about it, including other things, because by then we'll be in November, so it won't matter. So needless to say, we'll be with another Oscar prediction video, which of course you'll get at the end of every month, starting this month, starting next week. And you'll be able to check those out. In the meantime, AJ will be continuing to do the movie reviews, and I'll put them up as soon as I can. October is completely chock full of content for you guys, so get ready for that.
October is actually overflowing.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be cases of more than one video in a day.
For those of you that missed the daily content, I can't say necessarily we'll go back to that because it works really well for the algorithm, as we found out finally. Needless to say, there will be a lot more content that you're used to seeing than the new schedule that we have. Speaking of that, AJ cannot be found on social media, but if you want to leave him a comment, you're more than welcome to. Ashley can be found on social media at Ash is my name UK, and more Ashley content is forthcoming as well. I can be found on social media at Sir Owen Disney. I'm a little quiet right now, but don't worry. Very soon I'll be able to have something to talk about, if you will. Don't forget, Life of a Showgirl comes out October 3rd. Everyone pre-order that on your Spotify or buy it, obviously, because, yes, always need new Taylor music. It's the only thing that makes the world go round. That and All Elite Wrestling. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Also, more shout out to water parks. So yeah, the things that Owen is happy and thankful for: Halloween Horror Nights, Taylor Swift, water parks, and All Elite Wrestling. So yes, the things that make me smile that I can talk about on camera. So that being said, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Hunter, I believe I've seen you in chat before, so welcome back if you're returning. We appreciate having you here. And of course, we appreciate with Spencer and Josie and Brian. Anybody that was listening that didn't say anything, welcome, or welcome back, if you will. So yeah, that's going to be the video for tonight. Thanks everyone for joining us for the last 2 hours plus. And we'll be back in the near future. Stay tuned to at Popcast Network or at Ash is my name UK for the details on when that's going to be happening. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Always remember to have the best day ever. Wear your heart on your wrist, not necessarily your sleeve. And in the meantime, that's all we got to say about that.